we have a polynomial here, third degree, and we want to study the end behavior. So we kind of already know from algebra that it's a third degree polynomial with a positive 2 out front. It's going to look something like that, right? Maybe it has more curvature to it, but the end behavior is going to be, it's going to go that way and that way. But let's show ourselves with calculus why that's true. So the limit as x approaches minus infinity, so we're going to go to the left initially. This is the limit as x approaches minus infinity. P of x is 2x cubed minus x squared minus 7x plus 3. We can then factor out a 2x cubed away from everything. And if I take a 2x cubed away, I'm left with a 1 in that spot. In that spot, I'm left with a minus 1 over 2x. In this spot, I'm left with a minus 7 over x squared, or sorry, 2x squared. And in this spot, I'm left with a plus 3 over 2x cubed. So don't trust me there. Go back through that algebra and make sure everything makes sense. If you sent that 2x cubed through to the 1, to that spot, to that spot, to that spot, would you end up with your original function? Okay, but so maybe pause, make sure that I did the algebra correctly there. I think I did, so let's keep going. Now here, if I can show that this times this part is going to be bounded. We're going to see why. When x approaches minus infinity, so x is getting larger and larger, just negatively. But as x gets larger and larger, this term is going to get smaller and smaller. So this is going to get dragged down to 0. This term is going to get dragged down to 0 even faster. And as x gets larger and larger, x cubed grows really fast. So this fraction is going to drop down to 0 as well. So really this whole parentheses just converges to the value of 1. So no matter what x value I plug in there, I'm going to get a real number out. And it doesn't get too big. It stays somewhere close to 1. In fact, as x gets larger and larger, this gets closer and closer to 1. So really this function looks like just the 2x cubed function. Right? Because this whole parentheses here is just equal to 1. So this is 2x cubed times the 1. And we know what 2x cubed does as x gets larger and larger, but negatively. This gets larger and larger, but negatively. So this is going to drop down to minus infinity. We knew that as we marched in that direction, it was going to decay without bound. Let's go to the right now. The limit as x approaches positive infinity. So here we have the limit as x approaches positive infinity of our function 2x cubed minus x squared minus 7x plus 3. And we'll employ the same trick. We'll factor out the 2x cubed. We are left with a 1 minus 1 over 2x minus 7 over 2x squared plus 3 over 2x cubed. For all the same reasons, everything in there drops down to 0 except for the 1. So this approaches the value of 1 as x gets larger and larger. So this function really just looks like 2x cubed, which blows up to positive infinity as we go to the right. So the limit, see, how can we say this? We can say that this function approaches positive infinity as x approaches positive infinity, right? We also knew that as we move in this direction, we blow without bound, or we blow up without bound.